Welcome to ground control. Okay, this morning is the morning that we take this helicopter out and we perform the maiden flight. I finally got a break in the wind, so I will meet you out there. We'll test everything out, and then I'll meet you back here and let you know what I really think about it. See you out the field. Okay, so out at the field, I got too close to the helicopter when I was demonstrating the one key takeoff and land. So I wanted to demonstrate that now. Let me go ahead and recalibrate the gyro real quick. Okay, so one key takeoff. Okay, so that is about the most docile one key takeoff that I have seen yet on a helicopter. And so let me bring it back over here and we'll do one key land. And that is about the most docile one key land that I have seen yet on a micro helicopter. So I wanted to make sure that you guys could see that one key takeoff and one key land. So now I will meet you out at the field. All right, we're bound. So I'm going to put it in speed mode 1 to begin with. And we're going to take off manually. So I'm going to arm the motor. All right, and get it in the air. Alright, now we've got just a little bit of wind out here this morning. Getting a lot of drift out of it. Alright, I'm putting in a lot of trim. And I did calibrate the... There we go. Let's get a little forward here. That's better. Okay, so let's see how that maintains optical flow over the dirt here. It looks like it's been pretty darn good, guys. I'm pretty impressed with that. Once I got it trimmed out, look at that. That's really, that is really holding position. I'm surprised. I didn't think it would work very well over this dirt. Okay, so let's see in speed mode 1, let's see what kind of angle we've got. Alright, that's not bad. That's pretty docile. Right, left. Let's see what the yaw is like. That is not bad at all. I think in speed mode 1, without a lot of wind, this would be a pretty good beginner helicopter. Look at that. That's pretty smooth in speed mode 1. Isn't it? Oh, I guess I better set my timer. There we go. Just set my timer for 8 minutes. We've probably already been going for a minute here. Yeah, that's not bad. That's full forward stick I've got right now. So it is pretty docile in mode 1, in speed mode 1. The yaw is not bad. It's not real abrupt. Look at that. That's full speed in speed mode 1, so I think, you know, that would make a good beginner mode for a helicopter. This is about as docile as I've seen one of these micro helicopters. So I'm glad that they put 3 speed modes on here. Look at that. That is pretty darn smooth. And it's maintaining its altitude very, very well. Isn't that cool? Okay, so let's bring it here in front of us again and see what speed mode 2 looks like. Okay, so now I've got it in speed mode 2. There is right stick. Let's bring it back a little ways. Okay, so there, that's full stick to the right. That's full stick to the left. Must be because I've got all that trim in it. Let's bring it back. That's full back stick. And that is full forward stick. Yeah, it's faster. It's definitely faster than speed mode 1. The yaw is still pretty, whoa, what happened there? Got a little jukey on me. I'm just trying to see how abrupt the controls are, you know, how quickly I can turn it. That's pretty fast. That is a pretty cool little helicopter. Okay, so let's bring it back here again. And let's put it in, let's descend a little bit. There we go. Alright, so let's put it in speed mode 3. Okay, there's right. There's left. There's full back stick. That backs up pretty quickly. And full forward stick. You got to be a little careful about holding full forward stick on it, because when it gets going faster than what the blades can provide lift, which is what happened over there earlier. I had full forward stick and lost lift on it. You can't stall a helicopter, believe it or not. So you want to be careful giving it full forward stick for a long length of time, getting too fast to where you're outrunning your rotor blades, you know. That moves out pretty quick in speed mode 3. Descend a little bit. Going through my rotor blade wash. You don't want to do that either. But that is pretty slick. Okay, I want to bring it in. Now that we know the optical flow works pretty darn good, even over dirt. I was really surprised with that. Alright, I'm going to bring it back over here and we're going to land it. I'm going to descend slowly so I'm not getting a bunch of rotor wash. Because what I want to do is I want to test out. Alright, now I'm holding the stick down. I want to test the one key takeoff now. That's still in speed mode 3. That's not bad. That's pretty smooth. See the yaw? I'm just barely inputting yaw when I'm making those turns in speed mode 3. But the yaw is not nearly as abrupt, as fast as I thought it would be. Look at that's full stick for yaw. That is not bad for speed mode 3. Yeah, that is pretty awesome. A very good, I think, beginner helicopter. I don't know what protocol this uses. I would love to be able to bind my hobby grade transmitter up to this one, because I think it would just be uber smooth. I went through my rotor wash there. It seems like the rotor wash from the 4 blades might be a little more pronounced than the 2 blade versions. At least it seems that way to me. See that? When I just stopped and spun there, it tends to get a little erratic because you're going through the rotor blade wash. But look at that. That is smooth, guys. That's a smooth flying little helicopter. Now that I was less abrupt when I did that. So I didn't get that rotor blade wash like I did before. It sounds cool with the 4 blades too, I think. You get a little bit of that whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, let's try banking our turns here. I like that light. Oh man, are you kidding me? I've already been in the air for 8 minutes? Let me turn off my timer here. Okay, look. I've got some wind out here. I am just hovering. Look at that, hold its position. That high up off the ground. It's probably about 25 feet. 25 feet off the ground. Isn't that awesome? I have never had one with optical flow, but I'm pretty darn impressed with it. Isn't that cool? All right, I want to fly it a little bit longer. You know, I had my timer set for 8 minutes. I want to fly it a little bit longer. And we're still in speed mode 3. But that's pretty slick. Even in speed mode 3, it is not hard to handle at all. It's pretty well behaved. You just got to make sure that you don't, you know, set in one spot and go through your own rotor wash. Look at that. That is cool. This is gonna be fun. And in speed mode 1, you'll be able to fly it in a pretty tiny area. I mean, it is really, really docile in speed mode 1. Let's put it back in speed mode 1 again. Okay, so now I'm in speed mode 1. Yeah, see, look, I've got full forward stick, and it's pushing against the wind a little bit. You can see it crabbing there. So if you've got calmer wind conditions, that's full forward stick. You'll be able to fly this in a very, very tiny space. And if you got a little bit of wind, then, you know, just increase your speed mode. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's full forward stick going against the wind right now. Let's look at the yaw again on speed mode 1. That's pretty docile. That is a pretty docile yaw rate there. Yeah, so I think this is one of the best that I've seen in speed mode 1. As far as beginner helicopter, because it's so darn docile. Now I'm going to put it back in speed mode 2 because I've got a little bit of a headwind here. It's probably about, I don't know, I've only got about a 3 mile per hour headwind, but that's enough that you have a hard time pushing against it in speed mode 1. But for calmer wind, okay, I think I'm out of battery right now. It just auto landed. I don't know how long I've had it in the air the way I was flying. I've probably had it in the air over 10 minutes. This is probably the best beginner helicopter that I've flown so far. It's the first one that I've flown that had a 4-blade rotor, main rotor system, and it's the first one I've flown that had optical flow position hold. I could not believe how well that held its position over that dirt that I fly over there. I didn't expect that. I figured it would be drifting all over the place because I wouldn't be able to, you know, see a pattern underneath it. But in a 2 to 3 mile an hour wind, that's all I had out there, was a 2 to 3 mile an hour wind. And with the position hold, it held its position. I mean, I walked all the way around it. And it just stayed right there. That was awesome. And it maintained its altitude at the same time. I was very impressed with that. The only bad thing that I can say about this helicopter, because I think it's an awesome little helicopter, especially for the price. I would highly recommend that you get the 3 battery version if you order it. But the only ding that I could give this helicopter is it's abrupt when you do manual takeoff. I don't understand that, because when I did the 1-key takeoff, this is the smoothest micro helicopter I have seen so far with the 1-key takeoff and land. When I hit the 1-key takeoff, I mean, it spun up and then it came up nice and slow. It didn't just pop up in the air like it does with the manual mode takeoff. And then when I hit the 1-key land, it came down nice and slow, and it touched down nice and soft. I've never seen another one of these micro helicopters with the 1-key takeoff and land do that before. So I was very impressed with that. I also am very impressed with the fact that they have toned down the yaw rate on this one. The other two micro helicopters that I've reviewed in the past couple of years, maybe the past year, I felt that the yaw rate was a little abrupt, and it took me a couple of minutes to get used to it to where I could make nice, smooth, coordinated turns. I didn't have that problem with this. Even in speed mode 3, the yaw rate was not abrupt and it was not too fast. So I'm happy that they toned down the yaw rate on this micro helicopter. I think that if this is going to be a first helicopter for you, I would recommend using the one key takeoff and land because it's so smooth. The optical flow position hold works really well. I think that the altitude hold works really well. The only time that I had to use the throttle to bring it down or push it back up a little bit was when I was pushing it a little bit faster than what the rotor blades could support and I was losing lift, or if I got a little bit of a breeze and then of course I was going fast and it's going to ascend a little bit. That was the only time I really had to use the throttle. The rest of the time I was just using the yaw and the pitch and the roll. I like flying it in mode 3. I like having a lot of control over it. Mode 1 will work really well if I would say no more than a couple mile/hour wind. I had 2 to 3 out there, and there were times where I had full stick forward and it was barely moving forward. So, you know, if you're in that situation, just slide the speed button over to the second position. Second position is not bad at all. So in a 2 to 3 mile an hour wind, I would say even 2 to 4 mile an hour wind, I think speed mode 2 will work awesome. If you're flying in a little more wind than that, then I would put it in speed mode 3. It was easy for me to control it in speed mode 2 and in speed mode 3. If I don't have a lot of wind out there, or if even in calm conditions, I'll probably be flying it mostly in speed mode 3. It's not as fast as I thought it was going to be, but it's plenty fast enough for a micro helicopter, and it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with these micro helicopters. So I think Eachine has got a big hit on their hands with this micro helicopter. I think it's the best. It's the best I've seen so far for a beginner. Speed mode 1 is extremely docile, and the yaw rate is fine on it. I don't think you're going to have a problem with it. The only time that I got into trouble is when I was making maneuvers that were a little too abrupt and got in my own prop wash, and then it would lose a little bit of lift, but it recovered well, so that wasn't a problem either. I like the sound of the 4-blade prop over the 2-blade prop. I think that's pretty neat. I'm hoping that they come out with more of these military style micro helicopters. I would love to see an AH-64 Apache helicopter, Eachine, AH-64 Apache attack helicopter. You need to come out with one of those. And I would love to review an AH-64 micro helicopter. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll be taking it out and putting some more flights on it. It's a fun little helicopter. I'd like to take it out. Unfortunately, I never have less than 2 or 3 mile an hour wind. And for speed mode 1, that's about as much as you want for speed mode 1. But it worked out very well. So fantastic little micro helicopter. I really like it. I think it's an excellent beginner helicopter. And I think it's priced very well, especially for the 3 battery version. Don't forget, you're going to want to fly it. Oh, the flight times. The way I fly it, and I'm pulling as much power out of it as I can the vast majority of the time that I'm flying it. So at the end of the 10 minutes, it was pretty much, it auto landed on me because the battery was done at 10 minutes. If you're just cruising around with it in mode 1 or even in mode 2 where you're not, you know, doing a lot of high-speed maneuvers and going full throttle all the time, I think you're going to get really close to that 15-minute flight time. So three battery packs, that's 30 to 45 minutes of flying time that you're going to get out of it. That's pretty awesome for a little micro helicopter. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.